Good evening and welcome to our very first ever first Thursday live. Oh yeah, this is something kind of new. This is something kind of different. This is something many of you have asked for. A bit of a return to a regularly scheduled day time for us to do a channel-wide YouTube live stream on my channel, Go Small, Live Large, all about van life. My name is Scott Watson. Welcome to longtime viewers and first-time viewers, whether you're watching the live stream or watching the replay. Really do appreciate that. Yeah, this is our first Thursday live. So going forward, what we're going to do is have a live stream at 7 p.m. Eastern on the first Thursday of each month. I used to do a program called What's Up Wednesday, highly popular, very anticipated, well watched worldwide, but it was every Wednesday. It was a lot of work. And after 4 years, I was ready for a little bit of a change. So we've gone to a monthly format. Now we'll probably do some other YouTube live streams throughout the month, but you can mark your calendars for the first Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. Eastern, for First Thursday Live. We're going to have guests. We're going to have topics. We're going to have, like tonight, ask me anything. Anything's on the table tonight. And let me tell you, I've been through a whole lot in 2025, like many of you, including no van life for about 6 months. So I'm excited to have you here. This is Ask Me Anything tonight. And my vocal cord is still out of practice. I am going to explain a little bit about this Vanlife 3.0 and the new tagline that I have. And if you've been to my website or my YouTube channel page, you've seen it's Vanlife 3.0 Truth, Travel, and Tiny Living. That's what this channel has pivoted to. I'm on my third relaunch of Go Small, Live Large. I started this channel back in the summer of 2018, and I've been doing YouTube ever since. Van life is something I'm pretty passionate about, and this is my third relaunch of my channel with a brand new passion for truth, travel, and tiny living. I see some folks in here tonight in the live chat. I sure do appreciate that. If you're needing a little bit of a prompt for what to ask me about, I am pretty familiar with all of these subjects. And anything's on the table tonight. Like many of you, again, this has been quite a year. Let me know where you're watching from. Just type that in and let us know where on planet Earth you're watching from. That's always cool. What is your current fuel price in your local area? And then what is your weather like? I'm coming at you from West Palm Beach, Florida area. It's currently 75 degrees. It's going to be a low of 70 tonight, and it's pretty humid. The mosquitoes, this is perfect weather for mosquitoes. That's why all my doors are closed and my air conditioning is on. You up north are not going to feel sorry for me at all. I get it. So again, it's really a thrill to have you here. This is the format, please. If you can ask a question, 3 asterisks, 3 question marks. That helps me find your question more easily and answer it more readily. That is pretty great. And if you have a comment you want to be sure to have shown on the screen, it's 3 asterisks, 3 exclamation points. And speaking of in the chat, we do not play the chat on the replay. So the chat is only during the live stream. So while it's certainly public during the live stream, it's kind of private in that it's only here during this next half hour, 40 minutes, whatever we might have. As long as the questions are coming in, I'm happy to answer those. If you haven't seen my latest video, this just posted, I think, when did this post? Please hold. It was 2 days ago. Sell or keep my van. That is my van right there. Her name is Miss Lily. It's a 2018 Ram ProMaster 3500 cargo van chassis, front wheel drive, gasoline, and a 2019 Winnebago build out. I picked it up in October of 2018, and I've had the van ever since. And if you haven't seen that video, please see the video. Over 3,000 folks, almost 4,000 actually, have seen that video. And I go through the real world numbers on what it would cost to replace it, what I currently owe. Am I upside down on it? What's the value of it? My van has 140,000 miles, very much out of warranty. And it's a pretty good instructive lesson. And isn't she a beauty? I mean, I just can't imagine life without Lily. I'm kind of handsome too, right? And that's one of my favorite places on earth. That's Lost Dutchman State Park um, in outside of Phoenix, Arizona. So if you haven't seen that movie, go ahead and check that out. And as part of what we like to do here is kind of share other people's story with you. So this is where you can help inspire others. Many of you in this audience have been on the program or been video recorded. Tell us about your story, your van life. Maybe you've moved from one type of RV to the other. Maybe you've gone the other way. And really, this is about our community, our collective story. It's really about, again, truth, travel, and tiny living. So if you have a story you want to tell, please reach out to me. There is my email address. Go ahead, shoot me a note. Life and death, if you're in here, I saw your note. We've got some ideas around that. So thank you for that. Please keep comments here. That's always cool. But if you want to share your story with others, that's what would be really appreciated. Let me run through a few events and we'll say hi to our folks. We got some cool things coming up. So I'm going to go full screen here, right there. So add these to your calendar. Did I mention What's Up Wednesday? Oh, yeah. We're bringing that back on a monthly basis on the first Wednesday of the month. For our patrons only, free and the $10 monthly tier. So if you want to join that, we had that last night. We had a hoot and a holler. The next What's Up Wednesday for patrons is on Wednesday, December 3 at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then I'm really excited that we're going to have a patrons explore only cook along live from inside my van. We're making triple tomato soup. For those of you in colder climates, oh my gosh, you're going to love this. And again, I'm going to do it from my van. And this is kind of our exclusive thing for patrons at the $10 monthly level. There's quite a few of you. On my Patreon page is the Zoom link and the recipe so we can follow along, cook along with me as we make triple tomato soup. That's going to be on Wednesday, the 19th of November at 7 p.m. And then I mentioned every first Thursday of the month, we're doing First Thursday Live. I'm really excited that Nouveau is going to be our very first guest on next on the very first guest on First Thursday Live. Let me zoom in here for you. This is going to be on Thursday, December 4 at 7 p.m. We've got the team coming on. This is one of their lift bed models. Just a stunning. It's very much yacht-like a marine yacht on the inside. It's pretty groovy. And that is, again, coming up on December 4. So mark your calendars. Join us for First Thursday Live next month, December, with Nouveau. And the last thing here I just want to share, and then we'll cut away to our folks in the chat here, which is great, is all this is listed on my website, gosmalllivelarge.com. We got meetups planned, including an ice cream social in Florida. Having an ice cream social this time of year or next month in Minneapolis, something is, I think an ice cream social in Florida is due. So we got meetups, convoys, campouts, Zooms, live stream, and there's my Patreon page right there. All right, let's say hi to our folks. Then we're going to get into our Ask Me Anything. Again, if you can help me with the format, that would be great. And here is Deborah as a great example of, where are you, Deborah? Here. Whoops. Okay, we know what I look like on that picture. Scott, will you be covering the Tampa RV show this year? How about Peter? That is a superb question. Thank you, Deborah, for asking. It's a yes and no answer. I've done the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa every year since 2019. 2018? Yeah, I think so, right? Yeah. I wasn't quite full-time yet. In fact, after that, I went full-time in February. So I am going to be there. Wingham USA is doing a big event. If you're not on their mailing list, this will be posted on my website very soon. They're doing a kind of invitational only event, Wingham USA, Wingham OAC, the day before Industry Day at the Super Show. Industry Day, I think, is, please hold, the non-public day of the Super Show. That's the day before the public opens. That's going to be on January 13. I am attending that. I am attending that. I'm going to record some videos, maybe do a live stream or two with some of our favorite brands, favorite dealers. And you don't want to miss that, whether it's live or the recorded. I am doing the Wingham event on the 12th of January, but I am not attending the RV Super Show this year. Every year they make it, just they being the fairgrounds and the trade association, just a little tougher on people like me. And I've kind of gotten burned down, to be honest with you. So we're going to do some fun things on that side of the Florida Peninsula. Maybe an ice cream social. There's lots we can do in the greater Tampa area during that week. Most people go to the show one day, so maybe we'll do something fun around one of those days. But I will not be seen in public, most likely at the Super Show, but you will see me there for the industry day, which is great. Got my credentials already, which is pretty awesome. As far as Peter goes, Deborah, that's a good question. We're in communication right now. I don't know for sure about Peter. If you don't know about Peter, he's the owner of Rover Vans. He makes amazing custom adventure vans, mostly on Sprinters, sometimes on Transit and Ram ProMaster. But he makes a great deal of really cool gear, exterior gear, interior gear that goes into your van. So I do not know if he's going to be there this year. Last year he was with the Sunshine State RVs booth next to the Coachman display. He and I are right now working on a YouTube live stream for next month. We'll keep you posted on that, but we'll keep you posted on what Peter's doing because I don't know what he's doing at this point. So here's Justin. Hey, Scott, and all tuning in from Rochester, New York, the great state of New York. Holy cow. This is great. Here's Steva. Everybody keeps changing their names. I think Justin did too. That's no problem. Good evening from Wilbur, that's his dog, and myself, and from, Arkansas. Where's Bobby, by the way? You guys are batching it, Wilbur and Steve. That's pretty funny. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that. And let's see here. Here's David joining from the artist community of Carrizo, New Mexico, planning to sell my home and buy a Travado 59G in 5 years. Holy cow. Do it now. There's a 2019 Travado 59 GL in the West Palm Beach area for $85,000. It's got like 60-ish thousand miles, I think somebody said. Man, life is short. I would not wait 5 years. I would get moving. But congrats on being artist community. That's great. I would love to visit that place. Here is Eric. He was one of our guests recently on a YouTube live, and he's coming out from Bushnell, Florida, 67 degrees. Diesel 345. Here's Bill and Joe. Hello, everyone. Scott, What's Up Wednesdays is back. I'm Go Small, Live Large patron. Yes, that's right. First Wednesday every month is going to be What's Up Wednesdays, and first Thursdays we are doing First Thursday Live. Appreciate you being here and all the help that you've given me. And Justin, we've got some really cool things I hope we can announce next month or so. Thank you, Justin. Here's Bobby. Oh, there she is. Good evening, fabulous tiny followers tuning in from Willis, Texas. I think Wilbur needs to be in Willis. Where the hell is Willis? I never heard of it. What's kind of the nearest big city? I know some small towns in Texas, but there's Deborah again. Hi, all. Glad to be here. Here's David in New Mexico. So hello. Here's Brett. 44 degrees, Lambertville, New Jersey. 44 degrees, man. I don't know. Cold weather seems really, really attractive right now. This is Tim and Kim. Hello from Fort Worth, one of my favorite towns ever, and the Stockyards, historic Stockyards, OMG. 75 degrees, beautiful. Yeah, no, that's a perfect weather, especially when there's no humidity, right? 241 at Costco. Well, that's pretty great. Yes, thank you, Bill. Help me and the channel and other van lifers, travelers, or wannabes. Give it a thumb up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already. I've already failed my mission, right, Bill? So not great at self-promotion. Here's Leonard. Good to see you, sir. And your lovely bride. We still need to talk. My fault. Here's Thomas. 62 in Denver. 275 for gasoline. Thanks for using the question mark. Understand your keep regarding my van. Was hoping to see you were possibly going to buy. What were you thinking about? That is a perfectly legitimate question. For me, it really boils down to it must have a lithium equipped system. So spoiled all these years with my Volta system. There she is right there with her glowing gauges. But it's really a floor plan for me. I don't need the tall interior height of a Transit. It gives me kind of an airline feel. I'm about 5'10", 5'9", with my shoes off. And I prefer the squareness of the ProMaster chassis. I think I could get a little bit more room. I don't need the rugged off-road stuff, so a Sprinter, Transit all-wheel drive. So to me, it's kind of floor plan, maybe chassis. Really prefer gasoline over diesel. Did I mention floor plan? I think that's probably my biggest thing. And right here, what I'm doing is I have a permanent table that extends. Well, let's measure it quick, because this to me is a big deal. If you saw my video, I kind of showed you this in action. So the van is basically, how wide is the van? Let's see if I can do a quick measurement. Nothing quick about measurements in the van, but okay. Well, let's call it, what is that? 6 feet? So 6 feet. I hate dollar store tape measures. And the table extends out with the extension to 52 inches, which is about 4 feet. Yeah, 4 feet. So for me, the table's all the difference for me. A permanent table, lagoon tables, I just do not like, because I work when I'm on the road, work on my channel, work on my business. So brands, Nouveau's got a really beautiful van. I mean, they're all really beautiful vans. Embassy is a beautiful van, very different approach. Coachman makes some beautiful vans. The custom guys make beautiful vans. So it's really hard. Maybe that's why I haven't done anything, because it's such a difficult choice. This van fits me perfectly inside and out. I have a Murphy bed back here. So the beds that have like a permanent bed with garage storage underneath, which is awesome, kind of cuts, in my opinion, the van in half. So now rather than having 20 feet to live in, you probably have, well, whatever the width of a RV Queen mattress is, as all your living space walking back and forth. And with my front seats spinning around here, this is my entire, what I call a great room. So it's really floor plan. I'm open to toilet options these days, but I'm pretty firm on floor plan, chassis, gasoline. That narrows things down quite a bit for you. But great question. Thank you. We'll keep you posted. And the price. I mean, holy cow. Need a second mortgage on some of these van prices these days. But a lot of times you get what you pay for. So, that was a lot. Have some water, Scott. Here's Sharon. We call her Ohio Sharon. She just got back a couple months ago. Solo female in her Travado. Went into Alaska the hard way. That'd be through Canada. Here's a great question. Is propane an energy source for the past of the bees? I would say yes. So what SRA is talking about is I do have propane on board. It's a 6-gallon cylinder that sits about right where I'm sitting, midship. And I get the propane. Here's the propane switch right here. And that's what runs hot water and heat in the van of propane, or I can do electric if I'm plugged into shore power. I definitely see a trend, breathe, Scott, on more and more vans using the chassis fuel source, whether it's gasoline or diesel, to supply heat and hot water. Some of them, like Embassy, or I think Wingham also has a recirculating pump. So you're actually using the glycol from the engine, which is pretty cool. So when you arrive at your place, the water is warm. But yeah, I definitely see, and even the Travados now, moving away from propane to a chassis fuel energy source. Great question. Sharon, Ohio. Sharon saying temps 57, gas 335, getting down to 25 degrees. Okay, I would not be hanging around 25 degrees. That is below freezing. My tanks are outside, and my tanks would freeze. The lines, the tanks have warmers, but that's a little chilly. 45, 50 to 75. That is my favorite temperature. Here's Dale in San Diego. Speaking of perfect temperatures, gas extremely high, $4.50. It's always $5 a gallon in California. That's Costco too. Holy cow! Thank you for being here, Dale. Really appreciate that. And here's Deborah. propane used for cooking. That's a good point. Some have three-way fridges and certain heating systems. Good point. Definitely electric 12-volt compressor-driven fridges are definitely where I have not seen a three-way fridge, which is propane, electric, and what's the third source? Fridge in a van in a very long time. Pleasureway, I think, still installs them. I don't know. I might be wrong on that. And also to Deborah's point here, a lot of times people, van builders are putting in an induction cooktop, not propane. I like cooking on gas propane. I didn't know what gas was till I got to Chicago. I know that cooking on gas is what chefs use, not induction cooktops. I am judging. We're going to be doing a bake-off, cook-off, boil-off here coming up on what induction versus propane is. And it's pretty stunning, the difference. So that's what some of the induction cooktops are coming with, which is electrical based, of course. So SRA says, is it smart to avoid propane when buying new? To me, it's not a deal killer. It's one more thing to keep full. I have a 50% tank rule, certainly for fresh water and propane. If I get down to 50%, I fill it. Again, my propane is 6 gallons, of which I think 80% is actually usable. If you have a barbecue grill, you kind of know the deal there. I do have to find a propane source. My favorite propane source is probably Tractor Supply. They got legitimate people that know what to do. It's reasonably priced. There are Tractor Supplies everywhere. I fill my tank from half to full maybe 4 times a year. Now, I'm not staying in really cold weather, so I don't need it for that. But I would make it a deal killer. I'd rather buying new. If it has no propane, even better, right? Let's see. Here is Eric. Eric wants to know, have you ever thought or tried a caravan trip, similar to those group trips to Alaska? We have done that in the past. When I drove Route 66 in 2021, was it? Roger and Jane will know for sure. They just sent me pictures of the cozy dog. We caravan from Pontiac, Illinois to Springfield, Illinois. And many of us did stay the night in a Harvest Host parking lot. It was pretty awesome. So we've done that. We're going to do more of those. We're going to call them convoys now. But, and we did a convoy through a caravan, follow me type thing on Route 66 through Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now that gave me a nosebleed. Nothing like I was the lead van, of course, and I think we had 6 vans behind me and trying to navigate traffic lights, right turns, left turns, all these vans. It was pretty stressful. We actually had one van, Ginger Walkabout. She blocked traffic, so all the other vans could get through the light. It was pretty hysterical. She has military training, so she knows what she's doing. We miss Ginger. So we'll do some more of those, but a little bit remote locations because it can be pretty stressful in traffic. Good question. Here's Justin saying, if he was buying new, I'd avoid propane, one less thing to fill up, get a huge lithium gas, diesel powered heat, hot water, way to go. MIO. I would agree with you. There they are. Jane and Roger joining late. Always good to have you here. And thank you for joining us last night, Roger and Jane, for our What's Up Wednesday for patrons on the first Wednesday of the month. That was great fun. Let's see. Appreciate that. And there we go. Let's see. So here's Deborah with a comment here. Industry is trending away from smaller rigs, but it's just down to personal taste. Yeah, we had Mick Franklin, the owner of Winnebago Motorhomes, Rockford, Illinois, my home dealer, said there's a segment for each type of RV. The towables, the big Class A buses, the Class C, which is kind of the silhouette bed over the cab that we're pretty familiar with, and then the vans. It does come down to personal taste. There's some rigs are kind of in between a C and a B plus. Some would call them. That'd be like a leisure travel van. That would be like Embassy RV's Cape Cod. But it really depends on how much space you need, how much minimalist living can you deal with. We'll be giving a van tour of my van here in the next few weeks. Might do a live, I'm not sure. If you did see the video I posted a couple days ago, you got to see some of it, but I really minimalized interior stuff and storage stuff to a huge degree. Always in the works, but it really comes down to your size. Now, this is the perfect van for one person. And if you're on the smaller size, two people can do this very easily. It's the Murphy bed that usually gets people, but it's got one of the biggest bathrooms on earth in a van, which I think is very important to me. I like our mostly real door. So thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Here is Neil and Britt, a fantastic YouTube channel, cleverly called Neil and Britt. They're coming from home base in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 75 degrees ABQ. They are in a Nuvo. They've had all kinds of different rigs, Travados, Echoes, Nuvos. Maybe they can chime in on which one they prefer. Vans are definitely more nimble, but you compromise on space, interior and exterior for sure. Nuvo, time to join the family. They make a compelling van, no doubt about it. Here's Butch Jean coming in from Wisconsin, one of my favorite states. Cedarburg, let us know where that is nearby. I know quite a few towns in Wisconsin, some of the best harvest hosts. And one of the great things about Wisconsin, any time of the year, it's like Starbucks. There's a beer joint on every other corner. It's pretty awesome. Just saying. Here's Jared. You know something new? YouTube has kind of changed up these handles. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this at YouTube JNC, it's now showing these names differently. So, Catmandu, what's up? Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. And here is Cheese Leong. Oh, I don't want to misspell it. Love your channel. Where's my jar? I actually brought my jar out tonight. I thought. No. Oh, I got my jingle jar. Where'd it go? Ooh. Did I not unpack it? I thought I did. Holy. Thank you. Traveling Robert does a jingle. I have a. Oh my God! I did bring out what I do with it. How annoying! I'd blame the cats, but they're not in here right now. Thank you for your very generous donation. I appreciate that. That goes directly to all of my habits. Question, love your channel. Thank you. How do you feel about incinerator or incinerating toilet in a Class B van? From what I've been told, it takes a tremendous amount of electricity or propane to do that. Kind of drying out poo kind of makes sense. But if you're trying to dry out pee, imagine boiling a few quarts of pee and how much energy that would take if you reduce, a couple pints, a quart and a half on the cooktop. It takes a fair amount of juice to get that thing to a dry pan. So I've never used one. I've never seen one in real life. Some vans do have it. I think a something other than a wet flush, a black tank toilet is probably a better option overall. Like a Lavio or the Separate Tiny, but appreciate you loving the channel. Speaking of Separate Tiny, we're going to be reaching out. Well, I will be reaching out to the company to see if they will loan me a toilet. I'm going to try and swap this out over the next few months before I head out of Florida in March. I'm so glad to get out of Florida. Going west, young man. Here's David. Thank you, David, for your comment here. I've seen a couple incredible deals, so I'm ready, but I can't sell my home for 5 years. I totally get that. And Fit RV, I've learned so much from your YouTube videos. You've convinced me of the Travado. Yeah, I would thank you for that. I appreciate that. Check out rvtrader.com. There's a number of filters there you can use, and I am serious as a heart attack. There's my exact van, I think, with 50s. That's just getting broken in, right? 2019 with 50,000 miles for 85 grand. They probably give you a little discount. Private sale. Highly recommend that. Unless it's a worthy dealer you're working with. But yeah, you can filter by your area. A lot of the more reputable RV dealers, certainly that specialize in vans, like Sunshine State RVs. Some have a pretty good used van selection, so you can contact them. They give you all the details. And even Mick from Winnebago said that they're kind of short on some of the used stuff. So, excuse me, people are pretty excited about the used. All things being equal, I'd probably buy a used van next go around, assuming it met my criteria. Yeah, this was a good one. So here's Jay. Thank you, Jay. Suggested reviews for Scott Grand Design's new B Lineage Panoramic and Nouveau Light. I've done the Nouveau Light. We did a series, a trilogy on that. So if you haven't seen that video, please see that. We did that back in March 2025. The trilogy is I stayed in the van overnight. We give you a tour and specs, and then give you my some things I really liked and a couple things I could do better. Highlights video. So that's been done. Panoramic on my list, and Grand Designs I need to track one down. So thank you for that. We'll put that on the list. Good question from Kim. Do you plan to attend Peace, Love, and Vans in Colorado in June 2026? Tim and I are planning to go. Yes, I'm super excited. It's outside the Denver area. Denver is probably one of my top 5 states. I love. Is Denver a city in the state of Colorado? Colorado is one of my favorite states. And yes, we're planning to attend. I've been in touch with the organizers there, Josh and Zach. And we're very much looking forward to that. I think tickets are on sale now. And we're definitely attending Peace, Love, and Vans in Florida, near Tampa, Dade City. That's going to be a hoot and a holler. So we're attending both of those. And VanFest, for that matter. Space Coast Liftoff. If you're not attending VanFest, I think that too is on my events where I will be attending. And SAVE. What does that stand for? Southern Adventure Vehicle Expo. It's way north, Stark, or is it Stewart? Florida, way north. So we're attending all those. You're welcome to camp out. We're just kind of moving in together into the event so we can camp together. So yeah, I'm super excited for this, and any excuse to get to Colorado is a good one for me. Excuse me. So here's Kathmandu, about to take a leisurely 8-day drive to Reno, Nevada to get some things done on RV, including a Nova Cool fridge. Jared, thank you, Jared. That's the way to go. At your own pace, take the back roads. That's pretty cool. ANRV, we did a owner's tour of Jared's rig. That came out a couple of months ago, and I owe part 2. I keep getting dinged on that from several of you. So be patient. I am, it's a huge Q&A with Jared. So watch for that. I love the ANRV, super cool rig, very different approach. Again, not a B, not a C. It's kind of in between. And it's on a cutaway chassis, fiberglass box. And speaking of Nova Cool, Jared, you'll have a kick here. So the van, I wasn't in most of the day today or yesterday. Well, I think it was today, right? And it gets so hot in the van because my van's old and very poorly insulated. It was like 99 degrees in here because it was in the sun, even though it's 80 something outside. When the interior temperature of my van overwhelms the cooling effect of the fridge, it starts to thaw. Raise your hand if you experienced that before. That's why if I'm going to be in sunlight and in hot weather, I do some degree of fan and windows to keep the air moving so I don't overwhelm the fridge. Let me know if you've ever had that experience. It's a little scary at first. I'm like, oh, please don't break down. My fridge, by the way, has been going since 2018. How long has your house fridge been running? Oh my gosh. So here's Deborah saying the short transit leisure travel van. They make a beautiful product. So here's Life and Death. Thank you for using the question format. 3 asterisks, 3 question marks. I'm easy to find that though. Hard to stop. One hard stop to propane, long detours around tunnels, bridges that ban it. And in many venues, you can't find a place to fill it. You need to look for a tank swap, one more task. Some of the Winnebago products, I think some of the others have the tank swap. You can get it, at the grocery store, Walmart, what have you. I think that's kind of cool. It does require, in many cases, an external sealed, not external, but it can't be inside the van. It has to have external access. Bridges and tunnels, I've never seen an RV be rerouted for that. Usually it's the big tanker trucks. I've never taken a detour for a tunnel or a bridge because of propane. Maybe there's some very sensitive tunnels, but I've been through a lot of tunnels over the years. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Let's see. So here's Fernando. What would you do now? A Ford or Dodge? Dodge Ram ProMaster for sure. As I kind of mentioned, the Transit actually is more like this. It's really tall inside, but it's really skinny. I think it's the skinniest of the floor plans. So to me, it has this airliner effect. I'm only 5'9", 5'10", so I don't need the interior height. The Sprinter's kind of in between. It's a little less like this, and it's a little wider, but the ProMaster for sure is the widest and the lowest interior height. For me, that's okay. I really prefer that. A lot of the builders say it's really nice to have more square walls and meeting ceiling versus this kind of a thing. If you ever look at a Transit outfitted, they have this kind of crazy corners where it's really a steeped rake roof on the Transit. So that's my personal preference. Front wheel drive, gasoline. Don't need all wheel drive. I've only gotten stuck 3 times in now on my 8th year. Just completed 7 years of van life last month. That's an interesting question, a good one. What's the preferred length of van, Scott, driving wise? So my van is 21 feet long. I've got about another 16, 18 inches of gear on the back, including expedition box, storage box, and my bike. I think it's kind of the perfect size. So I think the Sprinter is a little bit longer, not the extended, as is the Transit by just a few inches. I think the big vans are 24 feet or longer, get a little, and I've driven one, custom by Rover, and it's a significant difference. So my van, while it will fit in a regular parking spot, it kind of hangs out because of the box and bike rack thing. So I always park way away from the building, and I take 2 spots. Yell at me if you want, and I do tandem. So I take 2 spots as far away from the building so nobody dings it. I can get in and out easy. And whether you have a 24, 23, 22, 21 foot van, I think that's the way to park those things. But mine's at 21 feet and a few inches technically. I really prefer that length. I'm used to it. I can pivot this thing on a dime pretty well. I've been in some really tight spaces and gotten out too, which is pretty awesome. Let's see. Here is Steve. I like that more manufacturers are adopting and offering B+ option overcab storage versus overcab bunk to the C-class floor plans. Yeah, it's really a nice compromise, right? It is kind of if you just need more width and need a little more length and you really want the exterior storage for bikes and gear, Aeon RV's got a really great one. The Winnebago Echo has got a great one. The Embassy RV Cape Cod has all of that really well designed. And it is nice to have those options now. We know a number of folks that have gone either way and really enjoy it. Justin says, YouTube seems to be showing usernames now, said display names in the chat. Yeah, kind of weird. YouTube. Let's see. Butch is saying Scott Cedarburg is 20 miles north of Milwaukee. Oh my God, one of my favorite cities ever. Street camp there many times. What a great town, Milwaukee. Oh my gosh. Next time you're in Milwaukee, please do yourself a favor and do the Pabst mansion tour. Frederick Pabst has his mansion there, and do the Pabst brewery tour. Even though they technically contract out Pabst Blue Ribbon, they got a really nice tap room with beers that are only seen in the in the brewery there. And just for the heck of it, do the Miller tour in the. Is Bud Light there? Budweiser there? Or are they down in St. Louis? I think St. Louis, right? Lots of beer in Milwaukee. Love that. Steve said, "Oh, you don't buy used." Yeah, I can't remember either. I just like these are all kind of different. Yeah, show some love. Give us a thumb up. Appreciate that. We're going to go for a few more minutes. Here's Quebec. Thank you, Canadians. God love you. We want you to be, well, I want you to be a separate country and everything that's beautiful about Canada, including Quebec. If you ever get a chance to go to Montreal and Quebec in particular, you will have a hoot and a holler when you have Siri or Apple Maps, probably Google too, reading out the streets in Francais. It's pretty great. One of my great hopes is to get into Canada and get out without getting arrested. Hot tip, coming into the USA from Canada, don't bring live plants with you. It might end you up in jail. This is not an Echo. This is a Winnebago Travado 59 GL with the lithium package right here. That's what that is indicating, which is still running flawlessly, by the way. Pretty incredible. We're going to do some test videos on that. We got a lot of cool content coming up. So if you like van life, travel, truth, tiny living, please subscribe. We're almost at 48,000. It should be nice to get to 50,000 by Valentine's Day. Wouldn't that be nice? But no, this is not an Echo. They're very different. Here's some Thailand. Oh, this is what's up in Thailand? Oh God, now I'm on the spot. I want to say Mario. I'm sorry. Thailand. There we are. Oh my God, it's going to catch me in a minute. Here's Life and Death. Now he's got questions and stars. What's up? Scott, Jared Tosi recently interviewed a young woman who installed a propane toilet. About 60 burns per tank. She's been totally happy with it. Just empties the ashtray monthly. I have a hard enough time emptying the cat box. So good for her. You know, whatever works for you. I'm in a tiny separate myself. That would ideally drain into the gray tank. That would be so awesome. But that's good to know. I literally have no experience with those. Here's Jane and Roger. Although my Blackwater waste tank toilet, even the flusher assembly from 2018 October still works. I did have to replace a little gasket seal at the bottom. The gate valve, you know how many times I have opened and closed that thing, emptying my whopping 12-gallon tank? If I was to replace it, I would get a separate tiny. I had that in the Embassy Dolphin SS Special Edition, and I fell in love with it. It was a little gross at first, but man, I can't tell you what a joy it was. How odorless it was, and not consuming onboard water to flush the toilet. No sticky sensors. I was really impressed. So I'm hoping I can do this. I've talked to my RV mobile technician. He's going to do some research. It's a pretty expensive toilet, so I'm going to see if they can give me a demo. We'll see. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah, it's a 2018 chassis on a 2019 Winnebago build out. If you've tried to relicense your RV, you know what a hassle that is because they can't figure it out at the DMV. It's always great fun. Let's see. Full time. Yes, sir. Full time. Once you get moving, raise your hand if you're familiar with this. It's hard to turn around and go back home, especially if you're like in, I don't know, New York, Washington, Florida. It takes you about half a month just to get back home. So I just found it easier to keep going, although I'm not doing full time anymore. Speaking of, here's Vu at the Vu family. OMG, there's Noah wants to know when you're coming to Seattle. As soon as you supply me with room service, Noah. These are our great friends from Seattle, and Noah's their kid. He's so cool. He showed us how to order room service on a Princess cruise ship, and he's like, "How old are you, Noah?" I want to say 10. Are you 10 yet? I think you're just turning 10. So funny. Yeah, coming to Seattle in the next year. Stay tuned. Probably after the Colorado in June. So July, August, September timeframe in the fall, which seems like a long way away, but no one wants to see the cat. They are inside because they would knock all this stuff over and I would be yelling at them in loud voices. So we don't want to do that. My allergies are hitting me. We have more Jack and Jill coming up. Jack and Jill love Noah. Oh my God, it's so funny. And you guys are going to be here soon, Noah. So you can cat sit. My daily rate to rent you is pretty cheap these days still, right? So funny. Yes, thank you. It was with the AC off, so I did turn it on. I didn't think I was going to be where I was for as long as I was. So yeah, I didn't have the AC running. So you're exactly right. That's why I have a Voltum lithium system, so I can run the AC anywhere for a very long time. So yeah. And I replaced my repositioned, I should say, my interior thermometer, so I can used to be over here, but I just kind of moved everything around. This is all where gauges are, right? Which I kind of like where their placement. And a lot of times now they're up here above the sliding patio door. This I never see until I do a show or I'm sitting in the driver's seat. Otherwise, it's completely out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, this is kind of cool. So Life and Death says users report electric incinerator takes to 3.5 kilowatts. That's 3,500 watts per hour. Burn, not practical even for lithium systems, only for shower power, which is kind of interesting, kind of negates the whole point, I think. So to put that 3,500 watts in perspective, my battery is about 9,000 watts. And the AC unit consumes about 1,200 watts. So it's 3x on power consumption to dry out poo and melt piss, or steam off pee. That's maybe a better way to say it. I don't know. So yeah, it's not a practical thing. But hey, do your thing. Here's the Walla Walla crew. Oh my gosh, is it Terry Martin? Or am I thinking Marie and oh gosh, Walla Walla, what's up? A great place, one of the great wine countries of the world, Walla Walla, Washington. And the Tri-Cities, looking for a 2325 GL. Any suggestions? Yes, rvtrader.com. Their website is way superior to their app. Unfortunately, I'm a big app guy on my iPad, but their website is far superior. So I would go there and probably filter on a number of criteria, including how far away your location is from the vans. And I would probably look at a used or a private seller. Note that the 59GL lithium edition is no longer available. So you'd have to get, it's only for dealer stock, meaning it's on the dealer lot, it's available. But you're going to have a hard time looking for finding a 59GL new on a dealer lot. Now the Super Show is coming up. Excuse me. So let's see what they got coming. If you didn't know, Winnebago bought Lithionics a few years ago. That's probably why the Volta system has, just point, there you go, gone away. And now Lithionics is in the KL. I wouldn't be surprised if it shows up on the GL. I will do that. Let me see if I get the other one out. So we're saying Aeon interview material for part 2. I've had a number of upgrades. Maybe, yeah, let's talk about that. I love owner stories, and Jared was kind enough to let us tour his rig and then answer a lot of Q&A, which is great. I want to get that out to share. So thank you for that. We'll work on that. Wow, this hour's flying by. Wasn't expecting to go this long. So here's John. I hope you are well, better health-wise. Now you've truly been living full-time in the van for 7 years, or still house and travel. Any advice for full-timing homeowners? I got lots of advice. How much time you got? So I went full-time from February of 2019 to about April of 2023. And while I did return to base camp here in Florida for the holidays, because their Airbnb properties are often filled, certainly on weekends. So I actually stayed in my van even when I got back to home base. So just to kind of put that in perspective, again, the toilet, the sink, the pump, the lights, the TV, the fan, all that has worked perfectly. The fridge, near perfection since 2018. I wouldn't really, I don't know, this will upset some of you. There's no medals, there's no trophies for full-time travel. But once you get the bug and it bites you really hard, it's kind of, you get back to home base. And my old rule of thumb was if I can navigate someplace without using navigation, it's time to leave. And because of my seizure situation that was in March, end of March, I got clean bill of health to start driving last month. Try not driving for 6 months, see how that treats your mental health. Not great, excuse me. But I'm just itching to get out of here. And again, because of where we're placed, it's really hard to get back here because it takes about a day to get out of Florida, kind of like Texas, right? But if you are wanting to do full time, you're going to compromise on some things. You need internet, probably, health care on the road, minimalist living. And if you have the means to have somebody at your house or house sit or rent your house, or I'm not sure I'd recommend Airbnb at this point, but nothing wrong with being a full-time homeowner, right? I actually don't own any real estate myself. I got rid of all that when we left Chicago. These are all my partner Kyle's Airbnb, his properties, technically, although I kind of mooch dock where I am currently. But I do not miss owning a house and all the associated responsibilities. Hopefully we can have an exit strategy for these Airbnbs. So that was kind of a long, windy weave answer. For those of you that do travel extensively, I will say also that decision fatigue while full-timing is real. And if you plan trips, like I'm doing way more of weeks, of days, or a few weeks, or maybe a few months coming up, way less fatigue around that than trying to figure out every day where you're going to stay the night. Even navigating grocery stores was kind of a pain in the butt. First world problem for sure. But hey, John, if you want to shoot me an email, you can interview me. It's gosmalllivelarge@gmail.com, and I would love to be interviewed by somebody on these kind of things, because that's an hour-long subject, and to do a YouTube video about it is, I think, live would be more interesting. There's Jack. Jack, good to see you and your lovely bride. What's up, Pam? 21 feet is ideal to me. They are in a Travado KL ProMaster. Some federal parks do limit your length to 22 feet. I've heard that for sure. His question format keeps changing. Appreciate that. Life and death. Baltimore Harbor tunnels ban any propane over 10 pounds. So I got 6 gallons. I have no idea what that weighs. That's about half the size of a tunnel over the Rockies too. So be aware of your surroundings for sure. I never had a problem. 140,000 miles. I never had a problem, but maybe I've been lucky. Here's Chris from Greencastle, Indiana. Always enjoy your videos and live streams. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Let me know where Greencastle is. I've been to a lot of cool places, including Warsaw, Indiana. Yeah, here's Bob saying the Trimacombi, which is what I'm sitting on top of under my bench seat. That's a German-built water and furnace contraption. Heats with gasoline. So the K was the first one that in the B van. Winnebago builds. No more propane anxiety. Propane only used for the stove. Interesting. Oh, because the KL is what came out with the induction cooktop. Very cool. Noah. You always love it when a 10-year-old teaches you how to get We call them free princess muffins, which is like a very glorified egg McMuffin for free on the Princess cruise ship. Noah. So funny. And Maddie, what's up? Let's see. Great show. Yeah, this is our first. So again, mark your calendars for next first Thursday live, December 4. We're going to have Nuvo on. I think we're going to have a couple of the owners and some of the social folks. Let me roll this forward and just want to remind you of these things. Please hold. And if you're part of our Patreon crew, you can do $0, which is great. That gets you into a whole lot of cool things, including meetups. Again, we're going to do a What's Up Wednesday, first Wednesday every month for our Patreon folks. Next one's Wednesday, December 3rd. And then I'm really excited to do this for you patrons that are investing $10 a month, which is about 2 Starbucks coffees. We have done, and we just did a breakfast on the beach with our Patreon explorers, which is pretty cool. So join us. We're going to do a triple tomato soup. I'm hungry just looking at that. Hopefully mine will turn out that beautiful, and yours too. And it's just been a delight being here with you. I always get a big charge in a very good way when we do these. And I can't believe we went a whole hour. I wasn't expecting that, actually. But great group tonight. Great questions. And please subscribe, share, and like, comment. You know the drill. This is YouTube, where we kind of work for free, but not really. It's really about us working together. Truth, travel, tiny living, Vanlife 3.0 for Go Small, Live Large. This is Scott Watson saying, we'll see you next month. That's kind of weird to say. And journeying on, peace be with you. Really appreciate you being here. Have a good weekend, everybody. See you soon.